Recreation.
Trax Travel, you'll soon be able to ride the rail all the way to the airport. Details on the opening of the new line.
And Gone Fishing. One Provo man leads a project to help the disabled live their dream out on the water. I'm Karen Sullivan.
And I'm Kristen Firmage. It's Wednesday, April 10th, and in Utah, it's 12 o'clock.
From KBYU and the BYU Department of Communications. This is the award-winning 11 News at noon.
The United States Postal Service is delaying its plans to stop Saturday mail delivery after Congress says it won't allow it. A mandate from the 1980s says USPS is not allowed to cancel 6-day service. The Postal Service says it was hoping Congress would cut that mandate since they weren't canceling Saturday service, just changing it to package-only delivery. Cutting Saturday delivery would have saved USPS about $2 billion per year. Orem City Council is deciding where to give more than $1 million of CARE grant money. 11 News reporter Maddie Wright went to the Orem City Council meeting. So Maddie, explain to me a little bit what these grants are.
All right, so there's two types of grants involved in the CARE Fund. There's major and minor. Last night's meeting was about the major and anyone who's received major grants in the past year. They presented what they have done with past grant money and why they should get more this year.
Although there weren't many people in grant money this year.
Next week, the council will hear from groups applying for minor grants as opposed to major. Then they will decide what money goes to which organizations.
So how much money can each group receive then?
So major corporations can receive up to 35% of their last year's expenditures, and minor can receive just under $5,000.
All right, thanks, Maddie.
Police have arrested a third person in connection with a murder in Moab. Karina Yardley is the girlfriend of victim Gregorio Campos. Officials say they're investigating Yardley for obstruction of justice, but have not yet determined her role in the murder. Police arrested Yardley's son, Brody Krokenberg, and his friend, Anthony Nelson, on murder charges earlier this week.
The U.S. Attorney's Office announced it will drop 8 more cases concerning the West Valley Police Department's narcotics unit. The FBI is investigating potential corruption and a cover-up of an officer shooting an unarmed woman. Officials say the department could drop up to 100 cases as they receive more information from the FBI's ongoing investigation. High gas prices, expensive parking, and a long drive can make getting to the Salt Lake International Airport a real pain. 11 News reporter Lucy Tingey tells us how UTA is making your commute to the airport cheaper and easier.
On Sunday, Utah
Right now, UTA is working on 2 more projects that will finish this year, a Trax Draper extension and the Sugar House streetcar.
Utah officials say the Willard Bay diesel spill is moving beyond containment as some of the fuel is now seeping into groundwater. A pipeline ruptured mid-March and spilled 20,000 gallons of diesel fuel. But Willard Bay officials say they aren't concerned about the water supply because locals get their drinking water from wells and springs far away from the bay. The state park is closed until crews can clean up the fuel. Wheelchairs and water don't mix, but one Utah man is trying to offer these previously unavailable activities to the disabled. 11 News reporter Scott Gardner met with him to find out how he's hosting boating and fishing tours.
Steve Henline was a captain on Lake Powell for most of his career, but after he retired, he wanted to find a way to give back to the community. This boat's name is Freedom, which is more like Freedom Realized. Freedom's Dream is expecting to start tours by May 1st, and Captain Henline says that no one will ever have to pay to take a trip on his boat. Karen and Kristen?
Thanks, Scott. When 11 News at noon returns, Cupcake Queen, a BYU student rolls out her new book on how to bake the goodies.
And planned attack. New details on the suspect who police say stabbed 14 people at a Texas college. Stay with us.
.gov.
An alleged stabber in Texas reveals his dark motive. President Obama shows his budget plan for 2014, and police bring 2 abducted children back to Florida. Here's your look at news from across the nation. The Texas student who stabbed more than a dozen people in Lone Star College and said had said he fantasized about killing people for years. Police arrested Dylan Quick and charged him with 3 accounts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The attack was sudden, as police say he hid a razor behind his back and stabbed students while walking down a hallway. President Obama proposes a $3.8 trillion budget for 2014. The president says he hopes the plan will cut deficits by $1.8 trillion over the next 10 years. He also makes changes to Medicare and Social Security, as well as tax increases for high-income households and corporations. The plan already has criticism from both major political parties, and lawmakers say they don't expect it to pass on Capitol Hill. Florida officials found an American couple who police say kidnapped their own sons and sailed to Cuba. Officials say the couple abducted the toddlers after they lost full custody of them earlier this month. Authorities say the father, Josh Haken, took the 2 boys and his wife to Cuba. Cuban officials found the boat and alerted United States police, who then returned the children to their grandparents. And that's your look at news from across the nation. Kristen?
A BYU student who loved making out-of-the-box cupcakes now has a sweet deal selling her recipes after Deseret Book discovered her. 11 News reporter Rachel Schwartz shows us why so many people love making Lizzie Early's cupcakes.
I started baking in high school.
Rachel Schwartz, 11 News.
Lizzie's next venture is her appearance at the Really Big Cooking Show with TV star The Food Nanny this Saturday at Thanksgiving Point. For a link to her blog with delicious recipes, visit our website 11news.byu.edu. Oh, hey Brenna, how are you?
I just wanted to get in on those cupcakes. That's what I was hoping for.
Definitely, but man, what do we wear in this weather? It's so cold in the morning.
I recommend layers. We have had some pretty dramatic weather in Utah this week. Rain, snow, wind. I'll tell you what to expect when we return. Well, we have seen it all this week in Utah. Sun, rain, snow, and yes, a ton of wind. We've finally calmed down today. You can see there's just 1 or 2 little clouds that could in the sky, but yesterday was dramatic, especially in northern Utah. In Weber and Davis County, we saw scenes like this. This is some kids trying to get to school, and it was gusty, 60 to 80 miles an hour in some places in northern Utah. By the time the kids got home, their backyards had been blown apart. This is a trampoline. There's a tree in somebody's backyard, just did not quite make it through the storm. Very dramatic stuff. This is one that I wouldn't want to be a part of. This is a dealership with a light pole through 3 trucks. Very dramatic. But yes, I can tell you we finally calmed down. The storm has passed. We're 40 degrees in Utah, in northern Utah right now, average humidity, and yes, that's a calm wind speed. That's going to be nice, but it will change. We will get a little stormy throughout the rest of the week. I'll let you know exactly what's going to happen. Highs around the state are really nice, actually. We're at 40 right now in Provo, and we're going to go up to 52 by the end of the afternoon. 54 in Logan, 52 in Salt Lake, and in Provo, 60 in Wendover. That's going to be nice. 49 in Moab, and down in St. George, we're at 68 degrees. Those are a lot lower than usual, but then they will actually get a little colder as a storm moves in. Now, weather moves counterclockwise, so as a storm moves past us, it pulls warm air in from the south. That's this high pressure ridge that we're sitting in right here. That's why it's so nice today. That also means that this storm, our weekend storm, is going to move in, pull that rain in, and then pull Canadian air down and on top of us. Our temperatures will drop even more as the week goes on. Just something to look forward to if you happen to like that kind of thing. Southern Utah, 5 days, actually going to be pretty nice. They'll probably miss that storm that's going to hit this weekend. 68 today, warm up to 76 tomorrow, and just go up from there. 83 on Saturday. That's going to be so nice. Sunny throughout the week, and that weekend's just going to be beautiful if you plan on vacationing in southern Utah. Northern Utah will see some precipitation this week. It'll be scattered showers at best. Thursday's the day we'll see just a little bit of rain, just a chance. We'll warm up on Friday. Saturday we have some clouds moving in, and Sunday we could see some more precipitation. It's just a chance now, but if you see our low is 37 on Sunday, that means it could be sleeting. It could be, I don't know, kind of nasty weather on Sunday if you're not prepared for it. But hey, we should be used to it by then. This is April in Utah. This is what happens.
I'm still not used to it. I woke up yesterday and it was snowing. I was like, no, this can't be happening right now.
It's actually pretty common, so hopefully we'll warm up a little bit later this month.
All right, thanks.
And AJ, I hear there were some storms brewing in basketball last night.
That's right. There may not have been thunderstorms outside for us, but there certainly was thunder in the forecast for the Utah Jazz. Next on Sports Wild Wild West, the Jazz are fighting for their playoff lives and had to deal with a whole lot of thunder last night. And Dog Dynasty, the Yukon Lady Huskies were all business in their quest to win a record-tying 8th national championship against Louisville. Sports is next. Keep it locked.
It's like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
The poet T.S. Eliot once wrote, "April is the cruelest of months." I don't know if T.S. was a Jazz fan, but he might as well have been with the roller coaster race for the eighth spot in the Western Conference playoffs on the line. Last night was no exception as the Jazz welcomed OKC to SLC. Utah came into the night a half game ahead of the Lakers for that last coveted final spot, and Big Al Jefferson wanted to keep it that way with a pretty up and under move for 2. But then reigning scoring champ Kevin Durant is fading. That cat is so smooth. Then in the fourth, KD Trey kicks it over to his partner in crime, big Russell Westbrook, who wants all 3 of them. The Jazz would cut the lead to 6 with 20 seconds left, but then on the inbound, guess who? Russell Westbrook says, "Look, Ma, both hands." Thunder rolls and finish off the Jazz 90-80. So it's the Lakers' turn to give peace a chance. Guess who? Meta's back, as well as El Grande Español Pau Gasol, who finishes off the pretty pass from the other Steve, Blake that is. And then it's Kobe who picks Eric Gordon's pocket and takes this thing coast to coast with the left hand for the and one. Kobe's mean mugging, Jack Nicholson is hype, the Staples Center is bonkers. Lake Show wins 104-96. So with the Jazz loss and the Lakers win, we look at the updated Western Conference standings. As you can see, the Lakers are in the 8th and final spot with just a half-game lead on the Jazz in the loss column. But with 3 games remaining for Utah, they do maintain the all-important tiebreaker with LA. So if they win out, then the Lakers must win every game to clinch the playoffs, which includes a clash with the San Antonio Spurs. It's going to be a wild finish. After a phenomenal men's basketball final crowned Louisville champs, the Cardinals' female counterparts had their shot at history. The Lady Cards had a tall task, though, facing the Connecticut Huskies in New Orleans. Rick Pitino's in the house telling the ladies, if you like it, then you can put a championship ring on it, trying to spread some of that championship mojo, but UConn's Bria Hartley doesn't care as she picks off this pass and goes in for the easy 2. Then it's freshman phenom Brianna Stewart who hits the 3 and gets fouled for the elusive 4-point play. Second half, same story. Stewart must have drank some of that Felix Felices before this one because she was perfect from distance and went for 23 points. UConn rolls for a record-tying 8th national championship. And it's the second leg of the Champions League quarterfinals as Real Madrid is up 3 goals on the Turkish side, Galatasaray. But a trip to Istanbul stood in their way to booking a spot in the semifinals. So we head out to the city where that wild opening scene in Skyfall was shot. And wouldn't you know it, CR7 Cristiano Ronaldo is making 007 proud with that lovely goal to put Real up 4 goals in the aggregate. Game over, right? Not quite. Don't count out the Turks. Second half, Wesley Sneijder drops this pass off for Emmanuel Obue and this thunder strike. Galatasaray shows some life. Sneijder would go on to score, and then Didier Drogba, the former Chelsea man and friend of Jose Mourinho, with a brilliant back heel to cut the goal differential to just 1. But lest anyone be confused, Mr. Ronaldo reminds them that he started from the bottom. Now he's here. 2 goals to finish off the Turkish side. Real on to the semis on aggregate, 5-4. Istanbul is a beautiful city. You guys should check it out.
Oh, it definitely is. And I thought it was funny, the concession food, it's not about hot dogs. It's all about the corn on the cob.
I love the corn on the cob, yeah.
All right, thanks, AJ.
You bet.
Still to come on 11 News at noon, Arcade Athletics. A league in Georgia takes an old school game to a new level. We'll be right back.
And find your local food bank.
You've heard of bowling leagues, but have you ever heard of a skee ball league? The old arcade game is seeing plenty of action in Atlanta. The league has an 8-week season and kicked it all off with winter playoffs this past weekend. Instead of playing for tickets and little toys, they play for trophies, awarding the biggest trash talker and the one with the most gutter balls. The players give each other nicknames and say they've created a tight-knit little family within their league. So guys, if you could make any league, what would it be?
Like one of those water shooter games at the carnival?
Well, you're in luck because Swartwood Amusements has a lovely carnival down in Southern California. You're welcome to come out anytime.
No, that's awesome.
Absolutely, Glass House.
I think I'll stick with skee-ball. I bought the app on the iPhone. It's the best $1 I've ever spent. It's so much fun.
Okay, way to waste some time.
It's awesome.
Stay focused in class and stuff. Yeah.
No.
All right, well, this is the last time you'll see the four of us on 11 News at noon because we're graduating.
But if you miss us, you can check us out anytime on 11news.byu.edu.
Thanks for watching and have a great afternoon.